Medicaid expansion.
Yes.
Didn't he support that?
He did. And you know what? That one was really, for me, a sad passing of that bill. Having been to all of the hearings that they had on it and spoken against that expansion, speaking out against that expansion, unfortunately, what it has done is said that it solved the issue of these people that had problems getting insured, right, have no insurance, and put them into a pool where supposedly the federal government's going to pay. Well, that always works out well. We can always count on that. So that's the first thing. But secondly, really, when you look at the integrity of that decision, the outcomes of medical outcomes on for folks on Medicaid are lower than those that have no insurance at all.
That's interesting.
Look at that. That's a fact, and that's a federal fact, not just a state fact. So we're putting people into the Medicaid system, knowing full well that the medical outcomes for these folks are less good than those that have no insurance. What great thing have we done?
In what regard? Is there a higher mortality rate, or how do they measure that?
Yes, they don't do better in treatment.
Okay.
They get lower rates of survival for illnesses that they might have.
Wow.
It in no way helps these folks that need the insurance to have better health care, right?
That's interesting.
Rather than do the hard work, because let's face it, it's slogging kind of work to sit down in there and say, okay, we have this many people that we've verified need a safety net.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay, right? Safety net, I'm okay with. But to then change the definition of what Medicaid was supposed to be, which was a physical challenge, disability, plus a financial one. Now they've taken away the physical one here in New Hampshire and just used the financial one. I think it's like 100 and some odd percent.
128 to 30%.
Yeah, 120 something or whatever percent of income.
But you can own a home.
Yes.
You can own cars.
Assets.
You can have anything, right? But you just you have to be at a certain level of money coming in.
That's right. So you don't have any generated income coming in, but that does not include what you might have in a home, boats, investments, that kind of thing.
Okay.
So you could have the money to be able to pay for your own, don't have a working income, and still qualify for Medicaid in New Hampshire.
Well, that's a hook,
Not
line,
good.
and sinker there. I mean, they reeled us right in on that.
Yeah.
And the Republican senators like Booten supported that. And the reason why I say, it really gets me, I'm going to throw some grenades here, okay?
Well, you're on the right show.
That's right, I'm on the right show. And because right now, it's 100% for 3 years. Now, Washington, the Congress are already looking at cutting that back.
Absolutely.
In 3 years, they say it's going to go to 90.
Yeah.
Then it's going to go down even more. Since when does the government ever fulfill their mandates?
And during this discussion, those numbers were talked about because there was already federal talk about cutting states, the money going to states for this Medicaid expansion while we were talking about the bill. We were just saying this is what is being talked about on the Hill, and we're still going to go through with this. Why can't we wait? The wait in politics is the thing that does us in the most. From what I've seen in the little 2 years I've had here, we had the same thing with the buffer zone bill, right? While it's in the Supreme Court, they were arguing the whole thing in the Supreme Court, whether or not it was lawful to have the buffer zone. Right.
For abortion clinics.
Correct.
Right.
Did Senator Booten vote for that too?
No. He ultimately, I remember sitting in front of the Judiciary Committee twice and just almost pounding the desk here saying, the insanity here is, why are you rushing to do this? Let's wait. It's going to be out in as soon, the decision will be out in a matter of weeks.
Yeah.
If it comes out unconstitutional, we saved ourselves a lawsuit. But if we push this through, which is what we did, and it is unconstitutional, and now we have a lawsuit facing New Hampshire, again and again and again, we said, can't we just wait?
Why do you think that happens? Do you think it's just kind of the nature of politics?
Because it looks good.
No one wants to look like they're not doing something.
Good bill.
Yeah.
And it's steps on the First Amendment or the right to rally or any. I mean, what a disgrace!
It was terrible. There was so many bad parts of that bill. It was just not written well, and it had holes in it like you couldn't believe.
Isn't there already an existing law that that predates the buffer zone that says you can't harass people
There is.
as
Yeah,
they're
they
going
have-
to
That's
the-
right.
the
There's
clinic
stuff,
and-
there's statutes and stuff on books and we've never had an issue in New Hampshire.
Right.
There's just never been a crime in New Hampshire with that kind of thing at an
Right.
abortion clinic.
So it becomes a solution in search of a problem.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Which is also the nature of politics.
Just wait. And the Medicaid expansion was the same thing for me. Just
Right.
wait. We
Yeah.
have all these states now tapping in. Of course, we had smart states that today are really glad they didn't do it because of the new things that have been happening in the past weeks with Obamacare. All right? But we said, wait. Why can't we wait and see how the other states do before we charge in and put New Hampshire on the rolls?
They didn't want to do that. They wanted, this is election year. They thought they were doing the right thing.
It was going to look good.
And I believe the polls are showing like 78%
Yes.
of New Hampshire residents do not want
Right.
Medicaid expansion.
It was not a good way to do it. We could do better. We should expect our public servants, when you are chosen to serve, right? That's not anybody's seat. It doesn't belong to Senator Booton. If I win, it doesn't belong to me. It belongs to the people, and our job is to get the work done while we're sitting there. And it's not easy and it's hard, but let's get the facts together, let's get a pool of people, and let's bang out a sensible solution that actually solves the problem of those in need.
Right.
It can be done. Why aren't we doing it?
Right.